Hello, everybody. So I'm Ben Parsons. So I'm based in English and I teach sort of across the curriculum. You're most probably likely to encounter me first off as Director of Admissions, where I oversee admissions for the School of Arts as a whole, but in particular English. So any kind of queries, any inquiries, all the sort of outreach activity generally gets kind of fielded through me, and I'm most people's kind of first point of contact, the first sort of voice you hear droning on before you even get anywhere close to the door. In terms of my teaching, so I teach sort of really kind of across the curriculum. I tend to work mostly in the sort of earlier period, so I work in the sort of late medieval period into the early modern period, working in particular on the work of Chaucer, who I'm currently editing for my sins, but also I work on sort of popular religious movements of the later Middle Ages and early modern periods. I do a whole bunch of research into various things like perceptions of madness and mental infirmity in the late Middle Ages and in the modern period too. Essentially anything that kind of piques my interest, I will kind of pursue until I've run it into the ground, and then and a lot of this stuff kind of filters over into my teaching as well. So I do a sort of a second year module which looks at sort of, I guess you can kind of loosely kind of proto-Gothic kind of materials, so sort of 16th, 17th century material that focuses on things that people were kind of frightened of in the period, the sort of the supernatural and the threat of the Middle Ages kind of coming back in kind of various forces and upsetting the early modern period. But that's me.
And I'm Dr. Mary-Anne Lund, and I sort of begin where Ben ends. So he hands over the baton to me towards the end of the 16th century. I work on the early modern period as well, on early modern literature, and I also work on things to do with the history of mental health, actually. I work on melancholy, which is this condition of rather like kind of depression and anxiety and all those kind of things, but the earlier Renaissance version of it. And so I'm interested actually a lot in how people used to write about mental illness in the past, and then how some of it filters through. And I also work on John Donne, and I teach Shakespeare. So I'm the Director of Studies for English. That means it's a kind of head of English role. So I will be the person that you'll meet in induction week and run some of your induction activities. And I have a kind of oversight of the undergraduate curriculum and degree. I teach mainly in the first and second years. I'll be teaching in the first semester a course called Writing Matters, which is about writing as a professional skill, as something that you use in your academic learning, but also as a professional skill in your later career. And we'll work on how to kind of improve and develop your writing skills. And I also teach Renaissance drama, where we work on Shakespeare alongside his contemporaries in that kind of wonderful buzzing world of the Renaissance theatre, and thinking about some of the kind of cross currents and themes of gender, sexuality, race, the way that people looked at foreign worlds and put them on the Renaissance stage, all kinds of things like that. And we do some stuff about poetry as well, and how to read poetry. So a lot of the first year is the stuff that I'm interested in as well.